Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, Inside My Holes, where I talk about my own struggles having borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I talk about my narcissistic mother who brutally beat me when I was a child, my schizophrenic father who was in and out of mental hospitals and abandoned me as a little girl. I talk about all the different types of therapies I had and the unethical psychologists that sexually abused me and exploited me, and just about a plethora of other post-traumatic stress disorder too, and a whole bunch of other mental health related topics. But I talk about them as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask in return of you is your kindness in the comments. Please be kind and respectful to me. Be kind to everyone else who comments. We don't have to agree on everything, but we do need to agree on respect and kindness always. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button there in the lower right-hand corner. That way there you will be notified every time a new video comes on. It's 100% free. And if you like what you see, hit that thumbs up button there so that I'll know which videos are, more popular, which ones to focus on more and which ones to avoid. Now today I'm going to talk about why I self-isolate. If you've watched enough of these videos, you'll know that I today, as a 59-year-old woman with 2 children, I work for myself by doing YouTube videos. I'm monetized. I have written dozens of books that I get paid for on Amazon. I also publish poetry. So I don't have a traditional job. I don't work with people. I work by myself and I work for myself. I have no friends. I've done videos on that. I no longer go to therapy because I was severely, I was raped in therapy actually. I was severely abused by several psychologists. And my parents are dead. I'm an only child. So except for my husband and my 2 sons, I really have no one. I am completely isolated. I'm a one-woman show. Now, there's a reason why I got to this point, and I'm going to talk about, why I feel this is the best path for me to be a loner, why I self-isolate. People have hurt me from the beginning of time, really. My parents, from when I was a little child, to teachers, to friends or so-called friends, to professional therapists who are supposed to be there to help me. And as a result of all those past hurts, I developed borderline personality disorder, which is a fear of abandonment, and I've talked about that in other videos too. I also developed post-traumatic stress disorder. I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which I did a whole video on, because it comes from all different types of sources. It isn't just one source where I have post-traumatic stress from. It comes from all different types of sources throughout the year. So it expands years. So it's complex. It's coming from many different areas. And I've tried in the recent present, not recent present, in the recent past, meaning the last few months. The recent past, I always get things wrong, to reach out and connect to someone my age who lived in my neighborhood. And I tried after several years, like over 5 years of self-isolating, and that turned into a disaster. That triggered a lot of my post-traumatic, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and really hurt me, because I think what hurt me so intensely about that is because, I this woman tried to, I did tons of videos about it, and I don't want to get into it, but over a year she kept asking to be my friend, and kept, she was doing self-portraits of me, and kept commenting on my YouTube videos. She can't do that anymore because I hid her from my channel. But so after many, many years, like over 5 years of not trusting anyone, I finally decided to put my trust in my emotions and my feelings, and really take a leap of, um, take a risk, after all that time, to take a risk. And then she was critical, judgmental, narcissistic, wrapped up in herself. Um, it it just hurt me so intensely that I said, what am I doing? Why the frig did I do this again? You know what I mean? Like, duh. What a dum-dum. So I said to myself, no, I don't even know why I attempted it after so many times of being hurt. Why did I put myself out there again? And so self-isolating to me is like a safety net. It feels, the sun is the sun getting a little, turn over here. It seems like this, I love to do these videos outside, but at least here on my deck, there can be no loud noises like the traffic. Oh man, the sun's in my face now. How's that? I love the trees behind me. I'm an outdoor person, and I could just sleep out here. If it wasn't for being eaten out alive from the mosquitoes. Anyway, so it's the fear of getting hurt all over again, in which I did get hurt all over again, and I'm still not over that hurt because I have borderline personality disorder. So I'm the type of person that doesn't bounce back. I wish I could bounce back, I really do wish that I could bounce back, but I just don't bounce back. The pain from my past, like that's what the complex post-traumatic stress disorder is. It's the pain from my past that gets, brought up again and again and again each time something new, each time a new hurt comes. It just, like when someone hurts me, it just isn't them hurting me. It at that moment, in the present moment, it brings up all the past hurts from since childhood. Okay, that's what complex post-traumatic stress disorder has done to me. So when that woman hurt me by being critical, very critical of me, I did other videos about it, so I don't want to, mention everything that happened, because you can, backtrack and, rewind and get and listen to those videos. But it was only a few months ago, too. I think it was March or something. It was, April, May, June, July, August. It's like over 5 months ago. It wasn't just that hurt, but it triggered all the other hurts from my mother, who was narcissistic and critical and judgmental. So it wasn't just her and her hurt, but it brought up all the old hurts, and it stirred up all those old feelings of not feeling good enough, of being ashamed. She was criticizing me publicly, so I felt inadequate. I felt ashamed. I felt not good enough, which is what my narcissistic mother did to me. She did those exact same things. This woman who was trying to be my friend and who lived in my area, my age, she did. And so why do I want to put myself through that all over again. That was the last time I'm ever going to do that, okay? I'm never going to do that again. So I feel at peace, you know. No one can hurt me now, which is wonderful. My self-isolation has brought me a lot of peace. There's no drama. There's no hurt. There's no shame. There's no, you know, it's just, I feel like I'm in a better place because now I have put up boundaries. And what are boundaries? They're walls. They're walls around me saying, no, you can't come close. You know, you are not allowed to hurt me. You are not allowed to criticize me. You are not allowed to shame me. And so by doing that, I feel in the driver's seat of my life. Have you ever felt like, you know, you're not in the driver's seat? There's a song from the 80s, I think it's called Driver's Seat. Look it up, Driver's Seat. I never felt like in the driver's seat of my own life before. I always felt like I was in the back seat, you know, but now I feel like I've taken control of the wheel because now I've learned boundaries and I'm not going to ever allow people to make me feel, you know, shamed or insecure, not good enough, inadequate, dumb, stupid, incompetent, all these things that I allowed people to make me feel. So you see, I allowed people to make me feel this way. And now that I put up the walls, the boundaries, and self-isolated, these people can no longer make me feel this way because I'm in the driver's seat of my own life. I have put up the boundaries and I said, no, stop. No, you're not going to belittle me. No, you're not. You're not going to shame me. No, you're not. You're not going to insult me. No, you're not. So I'm in the driver's seat now and in control. Now, let me tell you, it took me a long, long time to get here because I have been in very abusive relationships, not just with my parents when I was a child and a teenager and an adult as well. Yes, I was abused. It never stops, you know, unless you stop it. Did you hear that? It never stops unless you stop it. And I stayed in relationships far, far longer than I should have with best gal pals, with my parents, with in jobs. Another thing that took advantage of me, I was sexually harassed on the job, and especially with psychologists who I went to for help. I should have walked away. People have written me and told me that, you know, that they have seen the signs and they were able to leave. I wasn't strong enough. I'll have to admit it. You know, I could have walked away from these psychologists and got away and, you know, a long time ago instead of letting them abuse me year after year. I take ownership of that. I do. I had severe mental illness. I'm still battling mental illness. And, you know, even my husband asked me, why did you allow these psychologists to abuse you? And that was a good question. But I don't do that anymore. I've quit therapy. I got rid of those psychologists. I reported them properly to the licensing boards. I no longer see or go to any therapist. I have no friends. That's the last time, you know, I'm going to let someone insult me publicly. That woman really taught me a valuable lesson that I'm never going to let that ever happen again. But at least I didn't befriend her. At least years ago I would have, even no matter what she did, I would have just said, oh, I have to have friends. Oh, she wants to be my friend. But now I'm stronger and in control and in the driver's seat of my life and have the boundaries that I, stood up for myself and I got rid of her. So I didn't, you know, pursue or continue a friendship that was, hurting me, that was critical of me, that was demeaning and immoral of me. See what I'm saying? That, you know, so I'm learning. And, I'm sure a lot of you have self-isolated yourself. If you have, please share it with me. I would love to know. The sun is so bright. But I love the sun. It's going to be a warm day today in Boston. That's where I'm from, Boston, Massachusetts. Um, so I feel at peace. I feel at peace. It doesn't get lonely. Sure, it gets lonely. I'm not going to say it doesn't get lonely, but I'd rather be lonely at peace than not lonely and in pain from all the. That's how I feel. I'd rather be alone and in peace. When you get to be almost 60 years old, I think the one thing that is the most important in your life is peace. Maybe when you're younger, like when I was younger, having a lot of these artificial fake people in my life felt like it was more important, even though I got no peace. I was, um, I was feeling horrible all the time. I was uptight. I was, hating on myself, feeling down on myself, being around these people. And the worst thing of all that I think is feeling alone around other people, feeling alone in your relationships. And that's how I felt with all of these other people, especially with the psychologists and best friends. I felt alone. And now I'm alone, but you know, um, I'm I'm more inside myself. I'm more that I guide myself. I'm my own spirit guide. You know what I mean? I'm my own spiritual guide. That I don't look outside of me for happiness, because you know what? No one out there can make you happy. Nobody. You've got to make yourself happy. No one else is going to do it for you. And I think before, the problem I had before I self-isolated was I was always looking outward. I was always looking toward other people to make me happy. And I never, ever was fulfilled. Um, it's like waiting for the rain to water your garden. The rain, the weather, being other people. Well, you could have a drought and then everything in your garden dies. Instead of waiting for the rain to water my garden, I'm watering my garden myself. I'm not waiting for Mother Nature to shower on me. I'm getting the hose myself and watering my own garden. So that way my garden is completely dependent on me, not dependent on the weather. As they say, fear weathered friends. How do you think that came about? Fear weathered friends. My garden is dependent on me and only me for me to water my garden, not to depend on the weather. Well, if there's a drought, everything dies. And that's what I was doing before, when I was with, all these other people. But now that I self-isolate, you know, I'm blooming. I'm blooming, and I'm solely dependent on me for that. So I've gotten to that point in life, and this is, why I self-isolate, and I'm a much happier person. People might argue, oh no, you're lonely. I'm not going to deny that I'm not lonely, but I said peace is the most important thing to me at this stage in my life, peace. And I have found peace by self-isolating. I have found peace. I'm no longer hurt by people. I'm no longer triggered by people. I no longer feel shame and inadequate and, down on myself. I'm no longer looking outward, for happiness. I'm looking inward. And I hope that you can come to a point in your life where you water your own garden too. Okay, till next time.